无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇，我今天闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Jing Liang, Great Master Shenhua, all good monks and nuns, and all good knowing advisors, Amitabha. 诸佛菩萨、精良大士、师父上人、各位出家人、各位善知識, 彌陀佛. Chư Phật Bồ Tát kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư Hòa thượng Thiên Hoa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 23rd of August 2024. We are here in Gold Forest to continue discussing the prologue, the analysis or overview of the Avatamsaka Sutra written by Great Master Jing Liang. And the commentary that we use is from Master Shenhua. Okay, it's a real treat to be able to see this, but I don't get it. Okay, but it's such a great piece of work that we should try to go through and grasp as much as we can. I still feel that we should try to finish it, this door number 2 here, before moving on, because it really creates affinities for all of us with Great Master Jing Liang on this most profound wisdom in Buddhism at all. Okay. Besides, in the rest of my stay here in the Saha world, I don't think it's long enough for me to finish discussing the Avatamsaka Sutra. So whatever we can get, we should enjoy it while you still can. We are on slide 978. He's discussing he's talking about wisdom. I think something about cultivate blessings by benefiting others and cultivate wisdom by benefiting oneself. And that's what we've been discussing, what we were discussing last week. Thank you. And we're near the end of that. It says, and he talked about how in a Chinese culture, this totally makes sense to them, that the Zhen Xian Kung Ho, you fight to be the first and be afraid to be last. And it's referring to when the Chinese go to the temple and have a chance to plant blessings with the triple jewel, they try to be, to fight each other. They strive to be number one, the first one in line to create blessings, and they're afraid. They're so terrified to be the last one. It's a Chinese thing, okay? For us here in the U.S., it's kind of uncool. I just don't see you fighting to be first. Me first. This is what we used to do in Vietnam. In my era, I don't know, you're too young to remember that. Rex cinemas. Anyone remembers? You're too young. You weren't even born then. Rex cinema back then. I don't know how it is nowadays, but you can make a comment later. Now, in my time, Rex Cinema was the best cinema on earth. I took my girlfriend there during the day, matinee. And had a good time. Anyway, why do you think I'm my girlfriend? I don't remember why. But anyway, so it's like a cool place to take people to. And in Rex Cinema, because whenever, like once a month something, they would bring a new movie. And so the whole city of Saigon, or Ho Chi Minh City, what it's called nowadays, they all converge after hours to get a ticket to be the first one to see the movie. And so the Vietnamese is very interesting back then. To control the crowd, they only have one window, not two, one person. Cost savings, I'm sure. We have to send our men to the war. Okay? So, one window, so imagine this whole area here of Go Force, and it's full of people trying to push each other to go, to be the first one to get a ticket. Okay? That's Asian philosophy for you. You guys have no clue what it's like. My time, wartime. We were warriors back then. You guys are so soft. Anyway, yes, ma'am. Did you have a comment? You go to Rex too?
Dạ thầy con. Dạ thầy con tính hỏi là thầy nói mấy người châu Á là thích giành làm đầu tiên tại vì sợ mình là người cuối cùng á. Nhưng mà con á, thì con lại làm người cuối cùng nhưng mà cái tâm con lại muốn là người đầu tiên. Có nghĩa là mình nhường người ta nhưng mà cái tâm mình rất rất muốn là number one.
This woman is so convoluted. Typical Vietnam people.
Master, I would like to ask is that, when you say that the Asian wanted to be the first one in line, so me personally, I want to be the last one. However, my mind wanted to fight to be the first one.
So you fight to be the first one, but you end up being the last one. I don't get it.
Của con á là sẽ nhường mọi người nhưng mà cái tâm con là muốn number one.
So she yields to others to go first, but actually wants to be first. So she's sort of like phony. Yeah, please go first, but I hope you die. Yeah, you and Jumi have a lot in common. My Jumia. Now we call it Tina. I have no comment. It's just some people are hopeless. We can't help everyone. I told you that already. What do you think of that? Do you ever met anyone who's like that? Please go first. But you say, I hope you're going to take it really? I mean, you're going to go before me? It's just so weird. How are we supposed to react to someone like that? I'm curious. What are we supposed to do when someone says, please, after you? It's so Asian, after you, but they say, don't you dare. That kind of thing. Chinese too. You non-Asian, or non-Vietnamese, non-Chinese don't understand this. But when you go with a Chinese guy or Vietnam guy to the restaurant, they fight to death for the bill. You do that too at the restaurants? You say, go ahead, pay, or and now you fight, right? Now you want to be first. You let Han pay for it.
Dạ không, con trả.
You let Tùng pay for it.
Con trả nhưng mà con muốn
you look at who. So you pay, but you curse them. You say, you are stingy Vietnam people. It's too much. Yes, JC. We can go on and on for the next hour to talk about this. by the interest of the non-Vietnam people. Yes, go ahead, JC.
예, 안녕하세요.
People.
질문 드리겠습니다.
Do you have that problem too in Korea? When you fight to be the first one to pay for the bill? I'm exempt because, you know, all my disciples are fighting underneath the Korean. When they fight, they don't say it. But then I never even had a chance to pay for anything. Go ahead, Wang Ho. Do you do that in Korea, in K-land, where you fight for the bill at the restaurants?
I think it depends, Master. It depends on case.
It depends. Oh,
Yes, sir.
okay. Go ahead. Sorry, I got distracted.
그 정토본문 그 장례식 문화에 대한 그 질문을 좀 올리고 싶습니다. 이게 화엄경 그 프롤로그 강설인데 일단 그 정토본문 질문을 드려 좀 죄송하다는 말씀을 올리고요. 네, 여기까지 일단 말씀드리겠습니다.
Master, I want to ask you about the Pure Land question. And sorry about that, this time is the prologue lecture, but I want to ask you about the Pure Land.
No problem.
예, 그 일전에 그 마스터 법문 중에 마스터께서 법문하신 정토본문 중에 장례식이나 제사를 할 때 술이나 고기를 올리면 그 영가한테 안 좋다라는 법문을 하신 거를 들은 거 있습니다. 그리고 사실 제가 다른 이제 그 책에서도 그 부분을 접한 적이 있었습니다.
So before Master mentioned that if we offer the alcohol and the meat to the deceased, then it's not good for deceased. And I also have read about it in the book.
Which book? The Bible?
인광대사님 그 설법 중에 본 것 같습니다. 예전입니다.
I think I saw in the Dharma talk of Ingwang Master.
That's where I learned from too. Yeah, okay, very good.
그 한국에서는 그 사실 어떤 그 장례식을 일단은 그 대전제가 제가 이 질문을 올리는 거는 그 저희 이제 어머님을 돌아가시는 걸 좀 미리 마음의 준비 어머님이 아프시거나 그런 건 아닌데요. 죽음의 마가 언제 올지 모르기 때문에 항상 그 준비를 하고 있습니다. 그래서 그 저희 어머님 이제 미리 왜냐하면 저희 아버님 스트로크로 급작스럽게 돌아가시기 때문에 어머님 돌아가신 걸 미리 좀 항상 준비를 하고 있고 어머님께는 이제 정토 그 49제 그 돌아가시면 바로 위패를 올리겠다고 말씀도 드리고 그 흔쾌히 승낙도 하신 상황입니다. 어머니가 지금 병이 있거나 그러진 않습니다. 미리 그 준비를 하고 있는 차원인데요.
I'm asking this question because I want to prepare ahead for my mother. So we don't know when the death comes. So I want to prepare ahead. And I also told my mother about the Pure Land. And I told her that I will request a 49 ceremony for her.
술과 그 어머님한테 이제 49제 말씀을 드렸고 그리고 실제 어머님 장례식을 할 때 한국 보통 그 장례식 문화의 음식 그 상과 다르게 술과 고기를 안 올리고 청정하게 해야겠다는 마음을 먹고 있었습니다.
So I plan to not to offer the alcohol and then meat for her. I want to prepare the pure food.
근데 주변 친척 지인과 주변 그 친인척과의 부분을 좀 상의를 했는데 저한테 이제 하는 그 일종의 조언의 말이 무슨 말씀 불자라서 그런 건 이해하고 무슨 말씀인지는 알겠는데 한국 그 장례 문화에서는 보통 이제 그 직장 동료들이 오고 친척들 그 어머님 친구들과 제 직장 동료들이 많이 옵니다. 근데 통상적으로 이제 술과 고기를 이제 서브를 하고 사실 특히 술 같은 경우에는 이 장례식에 온 분들이 일종의 그 한국 장례 문화에서는 관습적으로 이렇게 좀 뭔가 디프레스되고 다운되지 않도록 뭔가 좀 일부러 왁자지껄하는 어떤 그런 매개체로 또 술을 마시고 그렇기 때문에 불자지만은 그 술과 고기를 준비 안 하면 너무 본인 생각만 하고 어떤 사회 관습에는 장례 문화에는 따르지 않는 게 아니겠느냐라는 조언을 했었습니다.
So I discussed about this with my relatives, and they said, "I understand you are Buddhist, but in the Korean culture, we usually prepare the meat and alcohol because in the funeral, the many relatives and friends and then my co-workers visited, and then we prepare the beer, the alcohol and meat for them. So if we don't prepare them, we are not following the Korean culture."
Okay.
그래서 제가 좀 여쭈고 싶은 거는 원래 제 그 입장대로 술과 고기를 이제 장례식이 이제 닥쳤을 때 서브를 안 하는 게 맞을지 아니면은 일단 어떤 그 저희 이제 불자로서 또 외부의 어떤 사회적 컨디션을 또 따르는 게 어느 정도 필요하기 때문에 그리고 또 이제 49제 위패도 올릴 것이고 그렇기 때문에 뭐 술과 고기를 너무 또 이렇게 차단하는 게 한국 장례 문화에서 오버되는 건 아닐지 아니면은 원래 입장대로 이제 술과 고기를 서브를 안 하는 게 맞을지 좀 여쭈고 싶었습니다.
So I want to ask you, which one is better? Do I need to not to prepare the alcohol and meat, or I should according to the condition? So I should follow the culture. So I should prepare alcohol and meat.
Okay, good question. How old is your mother?
74세이십니다.
74.
74 마스터.
74. Much longer do you think she has?
Just my instinct probably 3 or 4 years, I think.
She's still healthy or she's sick or what?
She is healthy.
She's healthy, and you only give her 3-4 years. I have a lot of Korean disciples. I'm still learning, okay? Please teach me. So, a healthy woman, 74, and the Koreans only expect her to live 3-4 more years.
But the thing is, Master, in the case of my father, he got a stroke. He passed away 7 years ago, but before he died, he was healthy and he had any symptom, but he got heart attack and a stroke, and just suddenly he passed away. So I always prepare that case.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. I shouldn't be joking about this. Okay, don't worry about it. Okay, in Buddhism, we are very flexible. We are wishy-washy, if you will. So the principle is that when during the funerals you serve meat to the guests, then the burden of that karma, of the killing karma, goes to the deceased among other people. Okay? So, for example, I don't want to frighten you, okay? But according to our precepts, and please don't take it literally, okay? Guangho, relax, okay? Don't do anything. When you serve the relatives and friends meat at the funerals, right? You also give them alcohol, don't you? And I don't want to scare you, but when you take it easy, okay? When you pass them the soju there, okay, for them to enjoy themselves with the meat, okay, you will have no arms for 500 lifetimes. That's worry about you, okay? Okay. So if you're a waiter, imagine if you are hired as a waiter here in the U.S., We get paid, not much to be a waiter. So you hired there to be at the service, and you serve alcohol to people. Imagine how many lifetimes you have without any arms. Anyway, it's American concern. We're very concerned about it. Anyway, for you, don't worry about it. If they feel that if your family insists on serving meat and asking for meat and so forth, let them. Okay, but don't you serve alcohol. That's all yourself. Just in case. Look at Wang Ho. He's so serious. My God, the Koreans are just so serious. I don't get it. You guys have fun in Korea? Never mind. Yes, I know. I'm coming. Let me finish my point, honey. So, during funerals, I'm serious now. I'm not joking anymore. Please don't laugh and remind me. Funerals are very emotional events, okay? And so it's important for you that even though we know in principles that's not a good thing to do, but funerals, to me, I keep on stressing this, you have to think of different needs. Funerals are for the living and for the deceased, okay? And we need to strike a balance. Sometimes the deceased, if we serve the meat to please the living, the people who are still alive, okay, there is a price to pay for that, okay, that goes on the deceased. But with us, it shouldn't bother you at all. That should not stop us from helping the deceased get to the Pure Land at all. So I would not worry. So in that case, in our case here, it's okay for you to yield to the family customs, your cultures, and so forth. I would not worry too much. Okay, just don't serve alcohol. That's all. Yes, we have here. We have a number 2. She has a recent experience, I think, something like that. Yes.
Thank you, Master. My question is also regarding alcohol.
Yeah.
My nephew is about to get engagement for his bridal engagement on September 7.
September 7. Oh, coming up 2 weeks.
And I took my sister-in-law out and I say, whatever you need to buy for my nephew engagement, I'll pay for it. And she also picked out XO bottle.
You mean the alcohol? You
Yes.
offer to pay for alcohol?
Yes.
You're crazy.
Because
some of the bills are like 5 digits,
Yeah, it's somewhere up there, but I'm like.
Yeah, we're gonna
But
have
I
to sell
pay
a lot of bitcoins.
But I pay for that, but I don't give it to them to drink. Will I also get the karma?
Yeah, so basically you won't have, you have half an arm only.
Thank you.
You better repent. Yeah,
So
it's
sorry.
not a good thing. It's really not a good thing to give people, to pass alcohol to people. It's very serious, a lot more serious than you realize. Okay? Maybe you could say, let me give you, let me paraphrase someone, give me a number, let me write a check. And you spend whatever, however you want to. That's a better way. Okay? Make it her decision, their decision, not yours. Okay? That's how I would do it. If they, like even Guang Ho, if they insist on you pitching in and so forth with your mom's celebration, your mom's funeral service, and to buy food and buy alcohol and so forth, just let me pitch in. You do whatever you wish. Okay. But don't directly pay for alcohol. That's not advisable. try to avoid it. Ultimately, they appreciate your financial support, but not however they want to spend it is their decision. Okay?
Should I ask her to return? I gave her cash.
No, don't ask her. It's too late now. It's it's not cool to change your mind. But in the future, at least, after, hundreds of thousands of lifetimes, no arms, eventually, you're back to normal. It'll be okay. Or go to the Pure Land before that happens. You see, we screw up royally ourselves, all of us. So that's why we try to skip town and go to the Pure Land. I would not worry too much, okay? But it's for everyone to be aware of it. There's some consequences, very severe consequences. Yes, JMT.
네, 마스터. 첫 번째 질문은 남편 친구가 출장 선물로 술을 사달라고 했어요. 그래서 남편이 면세점에서 술을 구입을 했는데 그거를 선물로 줘도 되는지 첫째 질문 드리고요.
My first question, my husband's friend asked my husband to buy alcohol for his business trip.
Yes.
So is it okay
The small
to...
bottles, right? I mean, yeah. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. Continue.
Okay. Is it okay to give the
For your husband's
husband's
to buy
friend?
alcohol
Yeah,
for...
husband buy alcohol and then give it to his friend.
What is
okay?
the equivalent to? You buy alcohol for his friend. So it's the same as passing alcohol to his friend, right? See, the law, the precept says for you to pass alcohol, to hand alcohol to someone, you have no arms.
근데 마스터 이게 어떤 상황이냐면 남편 친구가 선물로 달라고 한 거예요, 술을.
The friend asked my husband to give him as a present.
Yeah, okay. So in this case, it's different, okay? Because it's like he's being forced to give alcohol like New here. So maybe in the future, he will still have arms, but he'll be a kangaroo. Yeah, just small arms. It's not entirely his fault. Okay, enough joking around. Yeah.
네, 그래서 이제 남편 친구가 남편한테 사달라고 한 거니까 그냥 주고 말게요. 네, 일단 먼저 통역해 주세요. 여기까지.
So the friend asked to buy, so I will give it to him.
그다음에 제 질문은 원래 오리지널 토픽으로 돌아가서 마스터께서 지난주에 양보하라고 한 거에 대해서 두 가지 의문이 생긴 거예요. 일단 상수 여기까지.
Last week, Master mentioned about yield, so I have two questions.
Yeah.
네, 첫 번째는 뭐냐면 양보를 하려고 하는데 이게 삼보의 일에 명백하게 차질이 될 것 같다라는 판단이 될 때는 아무리 그게 공덕이 커도 양보를 안 해도 되는 건지를 일단 첫 번째 질문 드리고요.
I wanna yield, but I think if I yield, it obstructs the work of triple jewel. So even if the blessing is great for the others, is it okay not to yield?
I'm sorry, what's the problem? I'm sorry, from alcohol to yield? That's very drastic. Yeah, not related, right? Okay, so what is the question about yielding?
So if I want to yield, if I yield, that obstructs the triple jewel's work. So even if I know that it's not good for the triple jewel's work, should I yield?
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay to beat him up. Yeah.
하도 저 좋아요.
Oh, no, not about your husband.
그다음에 두 번째 질문은 양보를 하려고 하니까 저는 제가자인데 같은 제가자끼리만 양보하면 되는 건지 아니면 뭐 제가자가 승가에게 승가가 또는 제가자에게 이렇게 스위치하라는 건지를 그러니까 두 가지가 좀 궁금했었어요. 양보에 관해서.
So about the yielding, should I yield to the lay people or should I yield to the sangha or sangha should yield to lay people?
No, so let's go back to slide 979 here. He's teaching about how the concept of fighting to be first and being afraid to be last. I tried to explain it to you that this makes total sense to the Chinese culture, but to me, my being not Chinese, well, at least half Chinese only, I struggle with that concept. I would not explain it that way. Okay? To me, I would tell you a better way than the way the Chinese taught themselves, where you try to be the first to help out and afraid to be the last time. I taught you the last time already. If we happen to be there, then we should try our best to help out and don't be so keen upon being first and last. It's not necessary to be discriminating like that. To me, I'd rather teach you to help out when we have a chance. Don't discriminate so much. Time first, last. To me, it's nonsense. There's no first, there's no last. It's just if we have a chance to help, we should try our best to help. And it's much more important. Let me give you an example. For example, if you fight to be first, okay, and you succeed in being first, okay, you know what's going to happen to you? You still remember as being first. You stuck on being first. So that is contrary to giving. Giving is that you give and you forget. That's what I want to teach you. You just give and you forget immediately. It's no first, it's no last. If you do that, your blessings, I guarantee you, this is Vajra teaching. If you do that, your blessing will be far greater than the first one. The first one is stuck on being first, and this one is stuck on being last. They're stuck. We give, when we have a chance, we give. That's it. And we forget immediately. Okay? That is far better for you overall. That is wisdom. Okay? So I don't like this. This is too Chinese. Okay? There's wisdom there in trying to be first and being fearful of last, but to me it's small wisdom. Okay? And this is, to me, this is why it's no longer practiced, actually, nowadays, because it doesn't work. It's not the best Buddhist practice. Yes, JMT.
마스터, 제가 질문한 포인트는 뭐냐면 양보를 했는데 잘못된 판단을 했을 경우에 삼보일이기 때문에 그 피해가 삼보에게 돌아가는 거예요. 제가 그거가 걱정돼가지고 질문을 드렸던 거예요. 양보를 했는데 피해는 사실 삼보에게 돌아가는 거잖아요. 마스터한테 돌아가는 거니까.
My question is that I yield, but I made a mistake, so the damage goes to the triple jewel. So in that case, should I yield?
Could you repeat that, please?
I yield, but I made a wrong decision. So the damage goes to the triple jewel, not me. In that case, should I yield?
One more time.
I yield. But
Crank it up.
I made a wrong decision. So the damage goes to triple jewel, not to me. In that case, should I yield?
Crank it up.
I yield.
AV man. You know better than sit there. Crank it up. Increase the volume. One more time.
I yield.
You should be better. You guys should be on your toes.
But
yes.
I made a wrong decision. So the damage goes to the triple jewel. In that case, should I yield?
What goes to triple jewel?
양보가 싫은 게 아니라 잘못 양보했을 경우에 데미지를 마스터가 입는다는 게 걱정되는 거예요. 전 단지.
So master got the damage. If I yield, in that case, should I yield?
What?
If I
can't
yield,
hear.
if I yield, and master got the damage, but should I yield?
If you yield and I get the damage,
Yes.
how do you do that? That's not possible. How can you yield and I lose? Here's what you do. You yield and then you be the last one. I cannot possibly lose. I got 2 instead of 1. Huh?
양보하기 싫은 게 아니고요. 양보를 잘못했을 경우에 피해가 마스터한테 가는 게 걱정된다는 거예요. 제 포인트는.
I'm not hesitate to yield, but I'm very worried that you might get damaged.
You might get damaged. Okay. Jumi ơi. Okay. Let me present it to you from Vietnam perspective. That's why I call it Jumi ơi. Okay? Vietnam has a saying, Jumi ơi. Okay? You're thinking too much. Don't worry. Okay? You worry too much. See, when you give, it's from your heart. Like, I'm trying to give to you. I give you what I have. Okay? And then you forget it. If you say, I give to you and I'm afraid it's not going to work for you, you're going to get injured, you're going to lose whatever, then you haven't released it yet. Okay? You worry too much. Okay? So what you should do, instead of worrying, you should say, you give, and then you tell Trung Linh Sư, now it's your problem. Okay? So that's why the answer is, Jumi ơi, don't worry about it. All you have to do is go, Jumi na. Your problem now. See, I want you to understand Vietnam culture is very sophisticated. We don't actually Jumi ya. We always say Jumi ơi, Jumi ya. It depends. Jumi ơi is that, oh dear, okay, oh dearest. And Jumi ah is that, I don't like you. I'm kidding. Okay, it's okay. Anyone else? Yes, you too.
Amidofo Master, we have a YouTube question from Chang Cheng. He says, if we go to Pure Land and then come back, will we still have no arms for 500 years? Is there a plaque to resolve this issue?
Now somebody is obsessed. As I said, it's not always the case you don't have arms. Maybe you have kangaroo arms and legs. Anyway, in principle, when you pass alcohol, you hand alcohol to someone, anyone at all, okay? And that person drinks it, okay? That's alcohol for someone to consume, okay? Then the retribution for you is to have no arms for 500 lives. So the seeds are there for you to undergo that retribution, okay? But, so you're right. So when you go to the Pure Land, those seeds have no way maturing. But when you come back, okay, then it might happen you become a Buddha with no arms. It's possible. Hey, don't look at me like that. It's a Buddha who said it. I'm just don't shoot the messenger. I mean, this guy is dangerous. He's facing, really, you Buddhists are like that? No, it's a Buddha's fault. Yes, Wei Mao.
Amitabha Master, so that's about the precept. What about for normal innocent people that we didn't receive the precept like Daniel? So if he passed alcohol to people, he is all innocent, right, Master? Thank you.
No. He too will also at least have kangaroo arms. Okay? You pass on the principle. If you say, okay, like Nữ here is very smart, she says, you know what, instead of me passing, Tiếng not Nữ, Nữ is not capable of doing that. Tiếng would say, I would be last this time, so you pass the alcohol to them. Okay? So when she orders someone to pass alcohol for her, like she say, Tung, go ahead, give him. See, Tung has no arm already. If she's smart, she says, Tung, why don't you pass the alcohol? So Tung has no arms, she has no arms as well. Both of them have no arms. Yes, JC.
네, 마스터께 질문드립니다. 추석 때 차례를 지내면 제가 조상님께 술을 올려야 하는데 이것도 죄업을 받을 것 같아 무섭습니다. 어떻게 해야 하나요? 혹시 대비참으로 죄업을 덜 수 있나요? 홍영준 학생의 질문입니다.
On the full moon day, we do some ceremony for our ancestors. And then I have to offer the alcohol to my ancestor. I'm afraid that I will get retribution. So what should I do? Should I repent with great compassion, repentance?
How many times have you done that? It's the first time is 500 lifetimes. Second time after I warn you, it's going to be 1,000 lifetimes.
어릴 때부터 해갖고 저도 몇 번인지는 잘 모르겠습니다.
I did that since I was young, so I don't remember how many times.
You know what? You should go to the Pure Land. There's no hope for you. Don't come back. No, you can repent. You can erase it. Okay? And if there are seeds there, the reason you have no arms is because the seed says this guy should have no arm, and it matures, so you have no arms. But if what you see, this is why Jung is so radical. He said, "You are too crazy. I don't believe you anymore." No, we're crazy, but we also have countermeasures. So let's say you pass alcohol, like Nữ here. She says, I spend $20,000 buying booze for a lot of people. Okay, so you can imagine how many lifetimes you would have no arms. I mean, it's just inconceivable to me. It's like 20,000. You just one glass of alcohol is 500 lifetimes. For her, it's like $20,000 worth of alcohol. Wholesale price, because these people shop at Costco. Okay, so because of that, you have another dharma called repentance. When you repent, you erase that retribution. That's why. And the Buddha says, if you believe it, you don't believe me, go ahead, serve alcohol. Okay, and you find out. And this is why this will happen to me personally. I serve alcohol and have no arms, and I didn't find it funny at all. So now I can joke about it. And every time that happens, you remember. You know that? It's a funny thing. The suffering sticks with you until you remember, okay? So you remember, that's why now I believe the Buddha. You guys still, people like Jung struggle, says Buddha is so radical. Don't believe, it's your choice, okay? Trust me, I made a mistake. And it's not fun, let me tell you. I swear to God, I didn't have arms for a long, long time. And then I became a kangaroo. Anyway, see, even the Koreans find it funny. I got to them already. No, if you believe that, then you should be saying, so Buddha, if that's what you're teaching me, what can I do to negate it? If there's a real deal, is there a way for me to compensate? And Buddha said, of course. Repent, recite mantras, you know, and so forth. Yes, Wei Mao.
Amitabha Master, about this alcohol and about the using topic. So, I mean, for example, let's say me knowing about this alcohol thing and no hands, and I would yield to the people around me to handle the alcohol instead of myself. Yeah. Wouldn't that be very, very uncompassionate, going against the Bodhi route? I am stuck on this. It doesn't make sense.
If you yield to them knowing that they're going to have no arms, you too will have no arms. You're even worse than a kangaroo. Kangaroo at least have small arms. You definitely have no arms, and they may have just a kangaroo arms. Now that you know, okay, you know clearly that if anyone who serves alcohol to others, and you smart, you become a smart aleck, like a lot of Westerners are, they say, okay, I know that, so why don't I tell Tung to serve it? Tung will have no arm for sure, but you will be worse, because you did it intentionally. There's some severe consequences. Okay? Okay, be careful. Stop it. Don't make Danya do those things anymore. Anyone else? That's when, you should yield to him to, to go first. Say, after you. Yes, though. What do you have to say for yourself?
Oh, I don't have anything to say for myself. I just have a question.
Yeah.
So does the punishment apply to only alcohol, or it applies to all the intoxicant substances? Like cigarette, cocaine?
Guys, hey, Koreans, K-people, I've been teaching a Dharma for almost 20 years now. No one here in the country ever asked this question. You know that? How nice our people have been? It never crossed their mind. What about cocaine and cigarettes? Naughty boy. That's all I'm going to answer you. Cut it out. I don't know. Basically, to be honest with you, I need to go back to the Vinaya and check the answers, because the Vinaya, specifically the text says, if you pass alcohol to someone, your retribution is that you have no arms for 500 lifetimes. That's all it says. But the rationale is this. The rationale is that when you do that, okay, you are making someone stupid so that they will commit offenses to hurt themselves. Okay, it's a very, very nasty thing for you to do to others. You render them more confused so that they harm themselves in so many ways. They pass alcohol to someone else. They pass weed to someone else, cocaine, and so forth. You see, once they are drunk, they do a lot more harm to themselves. You see, it's very, very serious. So that's why. So the principle behind it is that you do something to render them more confused, so that they create more offenses to harm themselves. That's why the retribution is so severe. One glass of alcohol, you pass to them, you have that kind of retribution. That's the principle behind it. So I'm being cautious with you because I need to check the Vinaya too, because the Vinaya is very clear. It says it lists out exceptions and so forth. Okay, but if you look at it from the principle of the severe damage you do to someone else, so something similar applies to drugs and intoxicants, other intoxicants as well. Okay. So the answer is most likely yes, but I don't know the exact details. So just don't do it. Just for.
So, Master, if Dung is at a party,
not Dung.
Dung.
Yeah.
If Dung is at a party,
Dung is someone else.
And somebody asks him to pass the beer, what should he do?
Ask you to pass. This is when you fight to be last and be afraid to be first. What do? You don't want to do something. You don't need to ask me how to get out of trouble. You just say, excuse me, I'll be right back. And you run. Do you have a quarter? That's when you use the restroom in an airplane. You drop a quarter. Okay, it's so easy. You get out. You just excuse me, I gotta go. Okay, anyone else? Okay, so you see, what Master Shenhua talked about here in 979, slide 979, is basically is geared towards the people back then, where he sort of introduced them the viewpoint of Chinese Buddhism. Okay, to me, I really don't find it funny. I don't find it very useful at all. Okay. Yeah, but you understand the principle. What he talked about here is correct, but it's for beginners, not for us. Okay, 980. Nirvana also says the Buddha nature is called the one vehicle. The lion's roar is called decisive proclamation.
Nibbana 意云佛性者名为一圣。狮子吼者，名决定说。
Okay, so they go to this thing here, all this scholarly thing. He says, he's quoted the Nirvana Sutra. It says, what is the Buddha nature? The Buddha nature, he says, the Buddha nature is called, the Buddha nature, not the Buddha, is called the one vehicle. And so, don't worry about it. It's basically, this is Buddhist jargon. Don't worry about it. And what is the lion's roar? And this is another Buddhist jargon. Is when the Buddha, when he speaks Dharma, turn the Dharma wheel, it's called a lion's roar. It's called decisive, not unfixed, proclamation, and clear declaration. It will be explained a little bit later in a few more slides. Okay, 982. It decisively proclaims that all living beings have the Buddha nature and that all have minds, which minds will certainly be Buddhas.
决定宣说一切众生皆有佛性，凡是有心，定当作佛。
All who have minds. Commentary slide 983. So decisively proclaims, 决定 is Chinese, is emphatically, decisively, emphatically proclaims that all living beings have the Buddha nature. And are qualified for the one vehicle. So the one vehicle is for everyone, for all living beings. The Buddha vehicle is for everyone. This is not reserved for the 1% or the 5% or the 0.1% at all. It's for all living beings. They're all endowed with the self-nature of true suchness, not the jargon. And so it is stated that all living beings, all those who have minds, will certainly be able to become Buddhas. And so it's stated as absolute fact. So interesting here for you to understand that proclamation here is 决定. It was translated by the DRBA, by Master Shenhua's disciples. And I want to stress again that these guys are doing a very, very good job translating, and you should be grateful to them, or you should go back and get to them. If you want to retrieve, you want to read proper Mahayana Dharma in English, they should be the number one source for you. Don't go to scholarly sources. I would go to the DRBA materials first, because they set the standards and the jargon for Buddhism in English, and they did a great job, and they're very qualified. They have PhDs in Sanskrit, in Chinese, in English, in Buddhology, you name it. So they gear towards it, and this is one of the significant, wonderful, and we should be grateful for it, the achievement they have in terms of producing English text of Mahayana. They're the best. They should be, and they're not recognized. They don't have enough recognition for being the authority of the Buddha Dharma in English. That by far is the best. There's no close second, by the way. No one. So this is why we use the text, because it takes a lot of efforts, a lot of time for them to produce this text. What we do is we use the text to save time and correct their mistakes. Because theirs, again, the text is excellent for mid-range, from 1G to 5G. Because unfortunately, that's all they can translate, can see that. But the upper level, this is what we need. We need to make the corrections for you. That's all. So that's why And this is important for me. I criticize them a lot, okay, for all the aspects. But for the translation aspects, I feel it's a crowning achievement of Master Hsuan to set up this thing, okay? And it's a shame to me, again, and I will criticize them, it's a shame that they don't realize their strength. It takes a lot of resources, folks. For us to translate, this is why we are going to stop this, because for us to translate door number 3, it took us 2 years, a year or 2, and we really struggle with it, okay? And after my disciples are done, I haven't looked at it yet. I still need to go through it and fix it myself. It's so time consuming. And I'm sure that the quality is not yet comparable to what they produce, what my master's disciples produced. To be humble about it, okay? So they have the infrastructure, which is remarkable. This is, to me, is a crowning achievement of Master Hsuan. One of his crowning achievements is that set the standard and the jargon for Mahayana in English. We should take advantage of it. And I hope more people in the world would turn to this and recognize it for its true value to our cultures. All right? And so they use the word decisively, okay? And this is the advantage of Chinese language, that the decisively, or they say it later as a proclaim, actually is from the word 决定. So it has to convey the fact that I am emphatically telling you, I make no mistakes about it. So this is sort of with authority. I'm the authority, just like I recognize them as the authority on basic Mahayana Buddhism in English. Okay? And that is tremendous achievement, trust me. It's no small feat. It's going to benefit a lot of people for a long time. All right? So this is where the Buddha proclaims with authority, I am telling you, you should believe me. Okay? Make no mistakes about it. 984, in chapter 33, it also says, all living beings identically have the Buddha nature, identically the one vehicle, identically one liberation, one cause and one fruition, identically one sweet dew.
33又云：一切众生同有佛性，皆同一圣，同一解脱，一因一果，同一甘露。
Okay. Commentary slide 985, and then he further, Master Jingliang further quoted in chapter 33, has the same thing. It says, now they translated identically as emphasis. Identically came from the word tung, okay? So tung, so they talk about identically. They all are identically endowed with the Buddha nature, mean equally, you see. Identically meaning they have the same thing. So equally endowed with the Buddha nature of the one vehicle, they will be able to attain sovereign comfort, self-mastery, one liberation. So identically here, if you translate it into identically, tung, as identically, then you're missing out this concept. This is unfortunately for the translation. Identically is not incorrect, okay? But actually, what in Chinese, to me personally, tong in Chinese means together. It's not identical. It's tong. Tong has commonality. It's not identical to me. Meaning that we're the same, okay? You, Vietnam people and K people are the same, have the same exact Buddha nature. not identical. Okay, you and me and us and them are in the same basket, the same Noah's Ark. Okay, the same. So it makes no point for me to invade your country to steal from you. Okay, to fight you, but you can go first. You see, the concept is no, the Tung here is a very powerful concept. You and I are the same. We're not different. We are together. Okay? It's togetherness here. Okay? Together. It's not identical. It's we are together. We cannot be different. Palestinians and Jews are the same. Are together. You cannot separate the well-beings of one group over the other because we're the same. We are together. It's a very powerful concept. Tung is we are the same. We are together. Not just identical. It's not enough. Okay? So all living beings together have the Buddha nature. Okay, together are endowed with the one vehicle. Together are one liberation. Okay, together one sweet dew. Okay, to me that's what Tung really means. Together, not identical. Okay, I don't know if Chinese people agree with it or not. I really don't. I don't care. All we attain permanence, bliss, true self, and purity, which is called one flavor.
一切当得常乐我净，是名一味。
Okay. 987. So all living beings will attain the four virtues of Nirvana, and they learn more about it. The four virtues here. Four virtues is sort of like the Buddhists, like they translate it, but actually these are the characteristics of your state of being. When you're truly happy, you experience permanence. Imagine that, that your husband will love you forever. That's permanent. That's true happiness. Huh? Bliss is only interested in you. Okay? True self, he and you are together. Okay? And purity, you're all vegetarian. Okay? That's why it's one flavor. It's Buddhist jargon. It's so funny, these things. But I am joking a lot tonight for some reason. Maybe I'm free from my back pain. You couldn't tell. I was groaning internally the last weekend. Did anyone notice? I was very grouchy internally. The boy screams out of the top of his lungs. Okay, I was screaming, but no one heard it. And so it's the four permanence. This is when you have wisdom and you go back to your original state of wisdom, you experience permanence. You won't change. Okay, you experience bliss. That's incredible bliss. We're not just talking about bliss. It's just now that is happiness exponentially, if you will. Okay? And true self is that should remind you that this is you. Okay? This is the true you, not as opposed to the false you right now, okay? That's not the true you. If you indulge in this, you are actually refuting your true self. You know that? Stop it. You only shooting yourself in the foot. And purity. Purity. Well, I don't know what purity means. 988. Moreover, the third row of the Dharma flower says, after my crossing to extinction, there will be further disciples. There will further be disciples who have not heard the sutra and who do not know, nor unaware of what is practiced by Bodhisattva.
又法华第三云：我灭度后，复有弟子不闻是经，不知不觉菩萨所行。
So he's referring to, the Buddha is referring to, after I'm dead, okay? You wouldn't believe it. There's so many people who my crossing to extinction. Extinction, it should be a capital E. And enter Nirvana. Extinction meaning he enters Nirvana. Buddha's Vietnam, which is Buddhist jargon again. He goes into a nice place, okay? But actually that nice place is not real. Okay? That's why I don't want you to get too confused. It's just jargons. Buddhist talk, if you will. Okay? There will be a lot of disciples of the Buddha. We're not talking about non-Buddhists like Daniel and such people. Chung, are you non-Buddhist? Yeah, Chung. And so forth. And even Buddhist disciples who do not know, okay? Because this is what happens. Monks and nuns now, they talk about love, they talk about success, and you are special and so forth. They don't talk about the Dharma anymore. They talk about things that you want to hear, okay? Instead of your wisdom or words of wisdom, okay? Because they're so afraid to offend you and to bore you, okay? And so that's why people now, monks and nuns, the teachers who are supposed to talk to you about the truth, about your true wisdom, your inherent wisdom you have, okay? And if you hear it often enough, one day you'll be able to connect with it and activate it. You're unaware of it, okay? That there's such a thing called a bodhisattva, such a person called a bodhisattva. Okay? 990. They themselves, with regard to the merit and virtue that they have obtained, will have the thought of crossing to extinction, that they should enter nirvana.
至于所得功德身灭度想，当入涅盘。
Okay, so 991. He's referring to, the Buddha is referring to in this Dhamma Flower Sutra, he's referring to the Hinayana people, the sages, Hinayana sages, meaning that the Arhats and the Pratyeka Buddhas, they have wisdom and they realize they're better than us. They see us and said, you are so confused. You are chasing after your own tail. Okay? You are so unhappy. Okay? And look at me. You can't even tell that I'm so much better than you, much better off than you. Okay? And because I experienced the bliss of nirvana, of permanence, of bliss, of true self, and of purity. Remember that, those four characteristics. Sometimes you need to memorize these things because they're you. It's not about anyone else. It's about you, yourself. You can be permanent. You can be experience bliss. If you are not experiencing bliss, you don't know what you're missing. I'm not talking about regular bliss that you sit and cross your legs, you call it bliss. That's nothing, ain't nothing yet. Okay? And You think you have a true self. You say, I'm so superior. If you think you're better than anyone else, it's not the true self. Okay, and purity. Yeah. All right. Yeah. You don't go to Vegas anymore. Okay, and what happened to those people, Hinayana people, these arhats and the sound hearers and the arhats and pratyeka Buddhas, they obtained the merit and virtue through cultivation. Okay, and they thought that that's all there is to it. And therefore they said, this is so fantastic compared to where I came from. Okay, don't think it's not real, because this happened to a lot of disciples of the Buddha. They became wealthy and they started giving money to the temples, and that's how they were able to cultivate. And they became emperors, and then they built a lot more temples, okay? And that's how eventually they were able to become monks and nuns, okay? And then they cultivated and they certified the arhatship and pratyeka Buddha. That usually is the pathways, those stages. And they said, wow, all the sacrifices, all the things I've done in the past, okay, is well worth it. So they can't wait to enter nirvana. Okay? At that level, that nirvana is a dead end. It's not the ultimate. It's fantastic, but they ain't seen nothing yet. And this is, by the way, folks, this is a problem we have in Buddhism. The old monk, the old abbot, is now in Vietnam because his ex-teacher was a Vietnamese bhikshuni. Her parents, I think her dad was a French, and the mom is Vietnam. And so she inherited the parents, and then she became a nun eventually, and she accepted the old monk back then as a disciple, and then she, whatever she did, we're not sure. I'm not sure. I met with her and realized she's a 4th stage arhat, which is very impressive for a woman who really has no teacher. So it's amazing. I don't know how she made it, but she's a 4th stage arhat, and when I met with her, I was very disappointed because she's too arrogant. Okay, that tells you even arhats who have wisdom are still very stupid, and so arrogant. And she thought too highly of herself. Okay, and now she's dead recently, I think last week or something. You can check the name there, whatever her name is, Phap Dak or whatever. And so the old abbot went back to Vietnam, got very emotional. I don't know why. But anyway, he went back to Vietnam before she died and say goodbye or whatever. And now she's dead and he's still in Vietnam. And I assure you, he has no protection whatsoever. Going to Vietnam, going to Thailand is extremely dangerous. If you're useful to me, you're taking big chances because they shoot at me through you. So anyway, you can't shoot me, so they shoot you first. Because usually, I'm behind, you in front. That's how we position, it turns positioning. So anyway, and so he asked me to help her go to the Pure Land, but I'm not sure she would listen to me. Okay. I struggle with this. I might have to slap her a few times. But now I can slap her officially. Because when she was alive, it's called non-abuse. I felt like slapping her in the face. Seriously. When I look at her, I say, "You old? Okay. But you're so insolent. If you were my disciple, I would slap you in the face." Anyway, I control myself. I wasn't angry at all. But it's amazing. These people are so arrogant. So and now I can slap her. Okay, so this section here refers to those arhats who are so proud of themselves. They're so sure, dead sure about their wisdom. Okay, that's called, this is delusion or ignorance in Buddhism. That's called attachment to the Dharma. Pháp chấp. Vietnam is called Pháp chấp. Okay? It's one of the worst things you can do. If you cheat on your husband, if you kill the Buddha, it's not as bad as Pháp chấp. It's so bad. In Buddhism, it's a crime. You know that? So that's why the Buddha himself, all Buddhas, scold the four sage arhats. You stupid idiots. You're not supposed to enter nirvana. Okay? But they don't listen, so what are you going to do? And so that's what he's referring to here in this section. Okay, if we come to an end, let's see what else we have here. Okay, so we will discuss 992. Take it from 992 next time. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Let's do a transference to that old, stupid bhikshuni.